we need to make a distinction here, and this distinction became more important again with generative AI, being so prominent, is the dilemma between building your own solution, building your own AI, right? Holding all of that with your own data and all of that, or just buying a solution, right? You get the money, you find those platforms, something that can really, fit into your processes, and then, you just license and use those services. So there's this dilemma right there. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about this. On the build side, what you usually need is, again, going back to that slide about data and algorithms and computing power. Again, those are the components that you need to create your own AI. And there's a lot of value to be had out of that, okay? From our classical machine learning, not generative AI as well. So classical machine learning, I'm talking here about recommendation systems like the ones you see in Amazon or Spotify or Netflix or all of those things, or even hidden systems like banks have in like fraud detection systems, or you could have like for research, right? We had some people here that are in healthcare or the, skincare, things like this. You want to develop new products, so you want to use your own data. And for that, you need all of that plus talent. You need knowledge, you need skills, you need data scientists, machine learning engineers, all of that. On the other side, for buying, and again, this is much more related to generative AI, you're not probably going to build from scratch a ChatGPT. You're not going to build your own Mid-Journey or DALL-E, because that takes a huge amount of resources and a huge amount of knowledge and computing power. So usually you're going to license, right? But there are use cases there for sure. And there's a lot that are kind of in the middle that you're kind of going to buy and then add your own data, add your own sauce, or try to embed them in your systems. And that's when a lot of value will come from. Okay, so keep that in mind. But as always, you shouldn't start with the tool. You should start with the goal in mind. So here's a very sad stat from Gartner that 85% of AI projects fail due to unclear objectives and obscure research and development project management processes. So if you don't really have an idea in mind, if you don't really have a strategy, if you're just looking for shiny tools, you're gonna fail. It's gonna go wrong. So start again with things that are worth solving. Could you build a robot to apply lipstick? Yeah, for sure. And you can make it good, but like, is it worth it? Because the manual process, the human-led process of applying lipstick, I think, it's very efficient already. So why spend time? By the way, great channel from Simone. She creates these useless robots. It's very, very funny, but very, very cool. But the idea remains, okay? All of that is to say, beware of the generative AI hype. Don't get too caught up in like, ooh, shiny tool. Everybody's talking about Gen AI. Yes, it's great. It can have huge impact for you. But maybe in your organization, you need other, more fundamental things in place before generative AI can be super helpful, super valuable to you, right? Maybe you want to link generative AI to your own data, but to do that, you need good data quality. You need the infrastructure. Or maybe you want to have your workforce, applying these sorts of things, but they need some data literacy to understand, what's good, what's bad, and so on. So our whole thing, our whole way of approaching this is to really approach this with an experimental kind of mindset, right? Remember, these investments in AI, they are probabilistic by nature. They're not deterministic, even the ways that these machines work. So think of them closer, that they are closer to research, to R&D, than they are to software development or engineering, okay? So the best way is like this, find a problem, try to design something very, very quick, very fast, that can just be a proof of concept, see if it works out, get some people, get some users to give it some feedback, evaluate, is there some good gains? Should we keep going? If yes, keep improving it. If not, pivot, go for another thing.